Welcome back to Philosoverse podcast. Today we're diving into a fascinating debate about the foundations of morality. We'll be exploring the contrasting views of two giants in Western philosophy, Immanuel Kant and Stuart Mill.
It's a pleasure to be here. As a scholar of ethics, I've dedicated much of my work to understanding the complex relationship between reason, morality, and human action. These two thinkers offer unique and insightful perspectives on this timeless question.
That's a great starting point. So, what was the common goal that brought Kant and Mill together in this debate?
Both Kant and Mill, writing in the wake of the Enlightenment, sought to establish a rational and objective foundation for morality. They wanted to move beyond traditional religious or societal norms and create a framework that could guide ethical decision, making in a way that was consistent and universally applicable. They aimed to establish a moral framework based on reason rather than tradition or authority, seeking a system of ethics that could be universally applied and justified through rational argument.
That makes sense. They were both looking for a system of ethics based on reason rather than just traditional authority. But how did they go about achieving this shared goal?
That's where their approaches diverged significantly. Kant, deeply influenced by the Enlightenment's emphasis on reason and individual liberty, believed moral principles should be derived from pure reason itself, independent of any particular desires or inclinations. He developed the concept of the categorical imperative.
The categorical imperative? That sounds pretty complex. Can you explain it in simpler terms?
Think of it like this. Imagine a rule you want to follow. The categorical imperative asks, could everyone follow this rule without causing a contradiction? If the answer is no, then the rule is not morally permissible. For example, if everyone lied, the very concept of truth would be destroyed, making communication impossible. So, lying violates the categorical imperative. It's a kind of universal test for morality.
Okay, so if I were to lie to someone to get what I want, that wouldn't be morally permissible under this rule.
Exactly. Kant believed that the intention behind an action was more important than the outcome. He argued that acting out of duty, even if the consequences are unfavorable, is morally superior to acting out of self-interest or inclination, even if the consequences are beneficial.
So, a shopkeeper who charges fair prices only because it's good for business wouldn't be acting morally according to Kant, but someone who returns a lost wallet solely out of a sense of duty, even if they could have kept the money, would be acting morally.
Precisely. Kant also emphasized the inherent dignity of human beings as rational beings capable of moral reasoning. He argued that we should treat all individuals with respect and dignity, recognizing their intrinsic worth as ends in themselves, rather than merely as means to our own ends.
That's a really powerful idea. It seems like Kant's theory is all about respecting individual rights and dignity. But what are some of the limitations of his approach?
While Kant's deontology offers a compelling framework, it has been criticized for its rigidity and inflexibility. It can struggle to navigate complex real-world situations where there are multiple factors at play and no easy answers. For example, what if you have a duty to tell the truth, but doing so would harm a friend? Kant's theory doesn't offer a clear solution for these kinds of dilemmas. It can also be difficult to apply in situations where the consequences of our actions are uncertain. Philosophers like W.D. Ross have argued that Kant's theory doesn't adequately account for the complexities of moral decision making in real-world situations. He proposed a list of prima facie duties, like fidelity, gratitude, and justice, which can sometimes conflict with each other, requiring us to weigh different moral considerations.
It seems like Kant's theory is more about following rules than considering the consequences of our actions. Let's talk about Stuart Mill. He had a very different approach to morality, didn't he?
Yes, Mill, influenced by the rise of utilitarianism, focused on maximizing happiness and, being as the ultimate goal of morality. He proposed the greatest happiness principle, which states that actions are right insofar as they tend to promote happiness, and wrong insofar as they tend to produce the reverse of happiness.
So for Mill, it's all about maximizing overall happiness.
Exactly. He believed that a society where the majority of people are happy is a more desirable society than one where only a few are happy, even if those few are exceptionally happy.
That makes sense. But doesn't that mean that sometimes individual rights might be sacrificed for the greater good?
That's a central dilemma for utilitarianism. Critics argue that it can justify actions that seem intuitively wrong, such as sacrificing one person's life to save a larger number of people. Mill himself acknowledged this challenge, arguing that the greatest happiness principle should be applied with a focus on justice and fairness, ensuring that individual rights are not unduly compromised.
So there's a balance to be struck between maximizing happiness and protecting individual rights. It seems like Kant and Mill are coming at this from completely different angles. One is focused on duty and the other on happiness.
That's a great way to put it. Kant emphasizes duty and the inherent dignity of human beings, while Mill focuses on happiness and maximizing overall well-being.
So which approach do you think is better?
That's a question that philosophers have been debating for centuries. Both theories have strengths and weaknesses. Kant's theory emphasizes the importance of individual rights and dignity, while Mill's theory highlights the need to consider the consequences of our actions and maximize overall happiness.
It sounds like there's no easy answer. It's a complex issue with no simple solutions.
Indeed. The contrasting foundations of morality proposed by Kant and Mill offer valuable insights into the enduring questions of right and wrong. While their theories differ in their emphasis on duty, happiness, and the role of individual rights, they both contribute to our understanding of the complex and multifaceted nature of ethical decision making.
Thank you for breaking this down for us. It's been a fascinating exploration of these two contrasting perspectives on morality.
It's been my pleasure. I hope our listeners have gained a deeper understanding of these two influential thinkers and their contributions to the ongoing dialogue about the foundations of morality. Until next time on Philosopher's Podcast.